Samsara dava nalalida loka Pranaya karunya ganaganatvam Praptasya kalyana gunanavasya Vande Guru Shri Sharanaravinda Mahaprabhu Ki Nitya Gita Vaditya Madhyam Manasura Sena Vigraharadhana Nityanana Shingaratan Mandiram Ajanado Yuktasya Bhaktam Shanyunjatapi Vande Guru Shri Sharanarvindam Chaturvidashi Bhagavat Prasado Swadhana Triptan Hari Bhakta Sangam Kritaiva Triptim Bhajata Sadeva Vande Guru Shri Sharanarvindam Vande Guru Shri Sharanarvindam Vande Guru Shri Sharanarvindam Shri Radhika Madhava Para Madhurya Lila Guna Rupa Namnam Praktikshana Swadhanalolupasya Vande Guru Shri Sharanarvindam Nikunjayuna Atikeli Siddhai Yaya Libi Yuktira Pekshaniya Tatrati Daksharati Balabhasya Vande Guru Shri Sharanarvindam Sakshadaridvina Samasta Shastir Uktastata Bhavyatsa Eva Sadbhi Kintu Prabhuya Priyevatasya Vande Guru Shri Sharanarvindam. Yasya prasadar bhagavat prasada Yasya prasada nagati kutapi. Jayam stuvam sasya yasyastu sandhyam Vande Guru Shri Sharanarvindam. 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 Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine. Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pasyacha Deshatarine. Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasari Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasari Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasari Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Jaya Radha Nila Madhav, Radha Nila Madhav, Shri Radhe. Jaya Radha Nila Madhav Radha Nila Madhav Shri Radhe. Jaya Jagannatha Jaya Jagannatha Jaya Baladeva Jaya Subhadra. Jaya Sitaram Jaya Sitaram Jaya Sitaram Jaya Lakshman Hanuman. Jaya Gauranita Jaya Gauranita Gauranita Jaya Gauranita. Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada. Jaya Guru Deva Jaya Guru Deva Jaya Guru Deva Jaya Guru Deva. Nitai Gaura Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol Nitai Gaura Hari Bol.
Jai Om Shripada Pramhamsa Pajaka Acharya Stota Shata Shishmatis Divine Grace Aparachana Vrinda Bhakti Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. ISKCON PPTPI Founder Acharya Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Jai Om Shripada Pramhamsa Pajaka Acharya Stota Shata Shishmatis Divine Grace Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Ananta Koti Vaishnavrinda Ki Jai. Nam Acharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Jai. Premise Kaho Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Dhadara Shivasadi Gaura Bhaktavinda Ki Jai. Shri Radha Krishna Gopa Gopinath Shama Kunda Radha Kunda Kilikarvatan Ki Jai. Shri Vrajabhumi Vrindavanam Ki Jai. Shri Navadvip Mayapurdam Ki Jai. Shri Purushottam Chetar Chaknapuri Dam Ki Jai. Shri Ayodhya Dam Ki Jai. Ganga Mai Ki Jai. Yamuna Mai Ki Jai. Bhakti Devi Ki Jai. Tulasi Devi Ki Jai. Samaveta Bhaktavinda Ki Jai. Harinama Sankirtana Ki Jai. Nitai Gaura Premanande Hari Hari. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to Shri Guru and Gauranga. All glories to Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai.
Namaste Narasimhaya. Namaste Narasimhaya. Pralada Lada Daine. Hiranyakashi Purvakshaha. Shilatankana Kalaye. Ito Narsimha Parato Narsimha. Yato yato yami tato Narsimha. Bahir Narsimha Hridaye Narsimha. Narasimha Madim Sharanam Prapade. तव कर कमलवरे नाखाम अद्भुत श्रृंगाम दलिता हिरण्यकशिपु तानुभृङ्गां केशवधृता नरहरिरूपा जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे जय नरसिंहदेव जय नरसिंहदेव जय नरसिंहदेव जय नरसिंहदेव जय प्रहलाद महाराज जय प्रहलाद महाराज जय प्रहलाद महाराज जय प्रहलाद महाराज निताय गौर हरि बोल हरि बोल हरि बोल निताय गौर हरि बोल लक्ष्मी नरसिम्हदेव भगवान की जय प्रहलाद महाराज की जय
नमो नमः तुलसी कृष्ण पेरियासी नमो नमः राधा कृष्ण सेवा पावो यही अभिलाषी ये तुम्हारा शरण लोए तारा वंश पूरण होए गौरी कोरो थारे वृंदावन वासी। मोरा ये अभिलाष विलास कुंज धियो वास। न्याय नेहरी बो सदा युगला रूपरासी। यही निवेदना धारो सखीर अनुगाथा करो। सेवा अधिकार दिए करो निज दासी। दीना कृष्ण दास कोय यही ये न मोरा होय। श्री राधा गोविंद प्रेमे सदा ये न भासी। श्री राधा गोविंद प्रेमी सदा ये न भासी। यानी कानी च पापानि बर्माहत्यधिकानि च तानि तानि पाण्यस्यन्ति प्रदक्षिण पदे पदे। यानि कानि च पापानि बर्माहत्यधिकानि च तानि तानि पाण्यस्यन्ति प्रदक्षिण पदे पदे। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। जयो वृंदाय देवी जयो वृंदाय देवी वृंदाय देवी जयो वृंदाय देवी। Jayo Jayo Prabhupada, 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 Jayo Jayo Prabhupada. Jayo Jayo Gurudev, 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 Jayo Jayo Gurudev. जय तुलसी महारानी की जय। वृंदाय तुलसी देवाय प्रियाय केशवश्च विष्णु भक्ति प्रतिदेवी सत्तायवती नमो नमः। वृंदाय तुलसी देवाय प्रियाय केशवश्च विष्णु भक्ति प्रतिदेवी सत्तायवती नमो नमः। वृंदाय तुलसी देवाय प्रियाय केशवश्च विष्णु भक्ति प्रतिदेवी सत्तायवती नमो नमः। तुलसी महारानी की जय, वृंदाई देवी की जय।
Oh Tulasi, beloved of Krishna, I bow down before you again and again. My desire is tender service to Shri Radha and Krishna. Whoever takes shelter of you has wish fulfilled. Bestowing your mercy upon me, make him a resident in Vrindavan. My desire also to command residence and pressure goes to Shri Vrindavan town. Thus within my vision shall behold the beautiful pastime Radha and Krishna. I beg you to make me follow Karho Danso's virtue. Please give me the privilege devotional service and make me your own maidservant. This very fallen lowly servant of Krishna praise. May I always swim in the love, Shri Radha and Govinda. Srimati Tulasi Maharani ki jai. There are 10 fences in the matter of chanting holy names that should be avoided, and they are as follows. 1. To blaspheme the devotees who have dedicated their lives for propagating holy name the Lord. 2. To consider name the demigods, Lord Shiva or Brahma, to be equal to independent and name Lord Vishnu. 3. To disobey the orders of spiritual master. 4. To blaspheme the Vedic literature or literature pursuant to Vedic version. 5. To consider the glory of chanting Hare Krishna to be imagination. 6. To give some interpretation to holy name the Lord. 7. To commit sinful activities and strength with chanting holy name. 8. To consider chanting Hare Krishna with auspicious ritualistic activities, offering the Veda the fruity activities, karma, kanda. 9. To instruct a faithless person about glorious holy name. 10. To not complete faith in the chanting holy names, and to maintain material attachments in understanding so many instructions on this matter. It is also an offense to be inattentive while chanting. Every devotee who claims to Vaishnava must carefully guard against these 10 offenses in order to quickly achieve desired success. Krishna Prema. Now let us offer most humble obeisance unto all the Vaishnava devotees of the Lord. Let us as trees who can fulfill to everyone and full of compassion for the fallen conditioned souls. One cha. Shri Chaitanya Shikshastakam ki jai. Cheto tarpana marjanam bhava mahadavakni nirvapanam Shriya kairava chantrika vitaranam vidyavatu jivanam Anandam buddhivardhanam pratipadam purnamita swadanam Sarvatma snapanam param vijayate Shri Krishna sankirtanam Nam namakari bahudani ja sarva shaktis Tatra pita niyamita smaranena kalaha Etadvishi tava kripa bhagavam mamapi Durudevami disham iha janina nuragaha Trinatapi sunicena tarorapi sahishnuna Amanina manadena kirtaniya sadaharihi Na dhanam na janam na sundarim kavitam va jagadisha kamaye Mama jammani jammanishvare bhavatat bhaktir haituki tvayi Ayinanda tanuja kinkaram patitam han vishame bhavam buddha Kripaya tava pada pankaja sthita dhuli satvisham vichintaya Nayanam kaladashuru dharaya vatanam katkata rudaya gira Pulakai nichitam vapurkata tava nama karhane bhavishyati Yuga-itam nimishena chakshusha pravisha-itam Shunya-itam jagat sarvam govinda vidahe name Ashirishava-padaratam pinnashtumam Adarshanam marmhatam karotu va Yatha tatha va vidadhatu lampato matprananatha suse eva na paraha Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare 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 Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Shri Chaitanya Shikshastakam ki jai. Glory to the Shri Krishna Sankirtana, which cleanses the heart of all that dust accumulates for years, and extinguishes fire of conditional life, repeated birth and death. This Sankirtan movement is prime benediction of humanity at large, because it spreads the rays of the benediction moon. It is the life of all transcendental knowledge. It increases the ocean of transcendental bliss, and enables us to fully taste the nectar for which always anxious. O my Lord, your holy name alone grants all benediction to human beings. Thus you have hundreds of millions of names like Krishna and Govinda. In these transcendental names, you have invested all your transcendental energies. There are not even hard and fast rules for chanting these names. O my Lord, our kindness enables us to easily approach you by holy names, but I am so unfortunate I have no attraction for them. One should chant the holy name of the Lord in humble state of mind, think oneself lower than the straw in the street. One should be more tolerant than a tree, devoid of all sense of false prestige, and should be ready to offer all respect to others. In such a state of mind, one can chant the holy name of the Lord constantly. O Almighty Lord, I have no desire to accumulate wealth, nor to desire beautiful women, nor do I want any number of followers. I only want your causeless devotion service, birth after birth. O Son of Mahajananda Krishna, I am an eternal servitor, yet somehow I fall into the ocean of birth and death. Please pick me up from this ocean of death, and place me at once at your lotus feet. O my Lord, won't my eyes be decorated with tears of love flowing constantly and chanting holy name? Won't my voice choke up? Won't the hairs of my body stand and end recitation of your name? O Govinda, feeling of separation comes a moment to be like a great millennium. Tears are flowing from eyes like torrents of rain, and I'm feeling all vacant in the world in your absence. I know no one but Krishna as my Lord, and shall remain so even if he handles me roughly by his embrace, or makes me broken-hearted by not being present before me. He is completely free to do anything and everything, for he is always my worshipful Lord, unconditionally. Shri Chaitanya Shikshastakam ki jai. Shri Mangala Charna Prayas ki jai. Om Jnana Mirandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshum Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manopishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Soyam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurung Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Ragnatam Vidam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Saitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padam Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakam Vitamscha Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Iti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nivishesha Shunyavadi Pachatya Desha Darine Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Iti Namine Shri Varshabhani Devi Daidaya Kripabdaye Krishna Sambandha Vijnana Daine Prabhave Namaha Madhuryo Jala Premadya Shri Rupa Nuka Bhaktita Shikara Karuna Shakti Vigrahaya Namostute Namaste Gauravani Shri Murteye Dinadarine Rupanuka Virudapa Siddhanta Dvantaharine Namo Gaura Kishoraya Sakshat Vairagya Murteye Vipralambara Sambodhe Padam Pujayate Namaha Namo Bhakti Vinodaya Sachidananda Namine Gaura Shakti Swarupaya Rupanuka Varayate Gaura Virpava Pumestvam Nirdeshta Sajanapriyaha Vaishnava Sarabhama Shri Jaganathaya Te Namaha Vancha Kalpa Durupyascha Kripa Sindhu Bhyevacha Patitanam Pavnebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Padayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namne Gauratishe Namaha ปัญจทัตวาตมังคัมคริชนัมปักตรูปสวรูปคัมปักตาวตารัมปักตาคัมนามามิปักตชักติคัมเฮคริชนาคารุณาสินโดตีนบันโดจักปเตโกเปชโกปิกากันตราธากันตนโมสตุเตจายตัมสุรทรพังโกมมมันตมเทรกติมัสสารสวาพดัมโปโจราธามตนโมหโนติเวทวินดาดเนเขาปฐุมาตชิมัตรานาการสิงหาสนัสโธชิมัตราธาชิลโกวินเดโวพริชธาริปิเสวมาโนสมรามิชิมันราสารสารัมบิวัมชิวัตตถสติตหะคารชังเวนุสเนรโกเพียโกปินาทชิเยสตุนะหะตัปตกันชนโกรังกิราเทวรินดาวนิชวรีวิชบานุสุเตเตวิพนมามิหริปริเยจายชีคริชนเจตัญญาพระบุนิตานันดาเชียเตเถตาตาระชิวาสาติกรปักตรินดาฮเรคริชนาฮเรคริชนาคริชนาคริชนาฮเรฮเรฮเรรามาฮเรรามารามารามาฮเรฮเรชิมังกรชานันเพรสกีใจश्री परमसमिता की जय ईश्वर परम कृष्ण सच्चिदानंद विग्रह अनादिराध्य गोविंद सर्वकारण कारणम चिंतामणि परकर सत्मसुखोपवीक्ष लक्षावृतेषु सुरभिरभिपालयन्तं लक्ष्मी सहस्रशतसम्भ्रमसेव्यमानं गोविन्दमादिपुरुषं तमहं भजामि वेणुं खवनन्तम् अरविन्दतलायताक्षं पार्हवतं समसितां पुतसुन्दरङ्गं कन्दर्पकोटिकमनीयविशेषशोभं गोविन्दमादिपुरुषं तमहं भजामि आलोलचन्तकलसवनमालवंशी रानं कदम्पनयकेलिकलाविलासं श्यामं क्षिपङ्कललितं यतप्रकाशं गोविन्दमादिपुरुषं तमहं भजामि अङ्गानि यस्य सकलेन्द्रियवृत्तिमन्ति पश्यन्ति पान्ति कलयन्ति चिरं जगन्ति आनन्दचिन्मयसदुज्जलविग्रहस्य गोविन्दमादिपुरुषं तमहं भजामि अद्वैतमचोत्तमनादिमनन्तरूपम् आद्यं पुराणपुरुषं नवयौवनं च वेदेषु दुर्लभमदुर्लभम् आत्मभक्तो गोविन्दमादिपुरुषं तमहं भजामि पन्थास्तु कोटिशतवत्सरसम्प्रगाम्यो वायुरथापि मनसो मुनिपङ्गवानं सोऽप्यस्ति यप्रपदसिम्य विचिन्त्य तत्त्वे गोविन्दमादिपुरुषं तमहं भजामि एकोऽप्यसौरचयितुं च कदन्तकोटिं या शक्तिरस्ति च कदन्त च यायतन्तः अन्तन्तरस्थ परमाणुचयन्तरस्थं गोविन्दमादिपुरुषं तमहं भजामि यद्भावभावितधियो मनुजास्तथैव सम्प्राप्य रूपमहिमासनयानभूषः सूक्तयम् एव निगमपतिताः स्तुवन्ति गोविन्दमादिपुरुषं तमहं भजामि आनन्दचिन्मयरसप्रतिभाविताभिस्ताभिः एव च रूपतया कलाभिः गोलोक एव निवसत्यखिलात्मभूतो गोविन्दमादिपुरुषं तमहं भजामि प्रेमाञ्जन श्रुतभक्तिविलोचनेन सन्तः सदैव हृदयेषु विलोकयन्ति यं श्यामसुन्दरमचिन्त्य गुणस्वरूपं गोविन्दमादिपुरुषं तमहं भजामि रामादिमूर्तिषु कलानियमेन तिष्ठन् नानावतारमकरो भुवनेषु किन्तु कृष्ण स्वयं समभव परमपुमां यो गोविन्दमादिपुरुषं तमहं भजामि यस्य प्रभावभवतो जगदन्तकोटिकोटिशेषविसुतादिविभूतिभिन्नं तत्ब्रह्मनिष्कलम् अनन्तमशेषभूतं गोविन्दमादिपुरुषं तमहं भजामि माया हि यस्य जगदन्तशतानि सूते त्रैगुण्यतद्विषयवेदावितायमान सत्त्वावलम्बि परसत्त्वं विशुद्धसत्त्वं गोविन्दमादिपुरुषं तमहं भजामि Ananda Chima Rasatamataya Manasu Ya Praninam Pratipalang Samaratang Upetya Lila Itena Bhuvanani Jaya Chachasram Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Pajami Golokanamni Nijatam Nitale Chatasya Devi Mahesha Haridam Suteshu Teshu Te Te Prabhavan Chaya Vihitasya Yena Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Pajami Shishti Sthiti Pralaya Sadhana Shakti Reka Chaye Vayasya Bhuvanani Piparti Durga Ichanurupam Apyasya Chacheshtise Sa Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Pajami Kshiram Yatha Tadi Vikara Vishesha Yogat Sanjayate Nahi Tatha Pitakasti Hetoho Yasham Putam Api Tatha Samupati Karyat Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Pajami Yakaranarna Vachale Pajati Smayoga Nitram Ananta Jagatanta Saromakupa Deepacha eva hita shantam apipetya Deepayate virita hetu samarna dharma Yasthatvik eva hicha Vishnu tayavipati Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Pajami Yakaranarna Vachale Pajati Smayoga Nitram Ananta Jagatanta Saromakupaha Adara Shaktim Avalambya Param Swamurtim Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Pajami Yasyai Kanishwa Sitakala Matavalampya Jivanti Loma Vilaja Jagatanta Nataha Vishnu Mahansa Iha Yasya Kala Visheshu Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Pajami Paswang Yathashima Shakaleshu Nijeshu Teja Swiyam Kiyat Pakata Yatya Pitadvatatra Brahmaya Esha Jagatanta Vidana Karta Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Pajami Yat Pada Palava Yugam Vinidaya Kumbha Dvandve Pranama Samaye Sakanadi Rajaha Vignang Vihantu Malam Asya Jagatrayasya Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Pajami Agnir Mahi Gaganam Ambu Maruti Shascha Kalas Tathatma Manasiti Jagatrayani Yasma Bhavanti Vibhavanti Vishanti Yamcha Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Pajami Yachakshu Esha Savita Sakala Grahanam Raja Samasta Suramurti Ashesha Teja Yasyaknya Brahmati Sampritakala Chakro Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Pajami Dharmo Tapapa Nichaya Shutayastapamsi Brahmadi Kita Patagava Dayascha Jivaha Yadata Matara Vibhava Prakata Prabhava Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Pajami Yastrinda Gopam Atarinda Mahosa Karma Bandanurupa Balapajanam Adanodi Karmani Nirtahati Kintu Cha Bhakti Bhajam Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Pajami Yam Krodha Kama Sahaja Pranayati Biti Vasale Moha Guru Gaurava Sevya Bhavehi Sanchintya Tasya Sadvishinam Tanum Aparete Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Pajami Shriya Kanta Kanta Parama Purusha Kaupataravo Duruma Bhumish Chintamani Ganamayi Toyam Amritam Kathaganam Natyam Kamanam Ampi Vamshi Priya Sakhi Chidanandam Jyotir Param Api Tada Swadhyam Apicha Sayatra Kshirapati Sarvati Surabhi Piyascha Sumahan Nimeshardar Kyuva Vrajati Nahi Yatrapi Samayaha Pajeshwita Dvipam Tamaham Iha Golokam Itiyam Vedanta Ste Santakshti Virachara Katipaye Ishvara Parama Krishna Sachidananda Vigraha Anadyaradya Govinda Sarva Karana Karanam. Krishna, who is not Govinda, is the Supreme Godhead. He has an eternal blissful spiritual body. He is the origin of all. He has no other origin, and he is the prime cause of all causes. I worship Govinda, the primary Lord, the first progenitor, who is tending the cows, yielding all desire, in a boat built with spiritual gems, surrounded by millions of purple trees, always served with great reverence and affection by hundreds of thousands of Lakshmis or gopis.
I worship Govinda, the primeval Lord, who is adept in playing on his flute with blooming eyes like lotus petals, with head decked with peacock's feather, with the figure of beauty tinged with the hue of blue clouds, and his unique loveliness charming millions of cupids.
I worship Govinda, the primeval Lord, whose neck is swinging a garland of flowers beautified with the moon locket, whose two hands are adorned with the flute and jeweled ornaments, who always reveals in pastime of love, whose graceful threefold bending form of Syamasundara is eternally manifest.
I worship Govinda, the primeval Lord, whose transcendental form is full of bliss, truth, sustainability, and is thus full of the most dazzling splendor. Each of the limbs of that transcendental figure proposes in himself the full-fledged functions of all the organs, and eternally sees, maintains, and manifests the infinity in universes, both spiritual and mundane.
I worship Govinda, the primeval Lord, who is inaccessible to the Vedas, but attainable by pure unalloyed devotion of the soul, who is without a second, who is not subject to decay, who is without a beginning, whose form is endless, who is the beginning and the eternal Purusha. Yet he is a person possessing the beauty of blooming youth.
I worship Govinda, the primeval Lord, only the tip of the toe of whose lotus feet is approached by the yogis who aspire after the transcendental and betake themselves to pranayama by drilling the respiration, or by the jnanis who tries to find out the non-differentiated Brahman by the process of elimination of the mundane extending over thousands of millions of years.
He is an undifferentiated entity, as there is no distinction between potency and the possessor thereof. In his work of creation of millions of worlds, his potency remains inseparable. All the universes exist in him, and he is present in his fullness in every one of the atoms that are scattered throughout the universe at one and the same time. Such is the primeval Lord whom I adore.
I adore the same Govinda, the primeval Lord, in whose praise men who are imbued with devotion sing the mantras shuktas told by the Vedas, by gaining their appropriate beauty, greatness, thrones, conveyance, and ornaments.
I worship Govinda, the primeval Lord, residing in his own realm, Goloka, with Radha, resembling his own spiritual figure, the embodiment of the ecstatic potency possessed of the 64 artistic activities, in the company of her confidence Sakhis, embodiments of the extensions of her bodily form, permeated and vitalized by his ever blissful spiritual rasa.
I worship Govinda, the primeval Lord, who is Shyam Sundar, Krishna himself with inconceivable, innumerable attributes, whom the pure devotees see in their heart of the hearts with the eye of devotion, tinged with the salve of love.
I worship Govinda, the primeval Lord, who manifested himself personally as Krishna in the different avatars in the world in the forms of Rama, Nrsimha, Vamana, etc. as his subjective portions. Brahma Samhita ki jai.
Bhagavad Gita purport 7.1. Srinvatam swakada Krishna punya shravana gitna hridyantastav vidrani nityam noti suhrustatam nashtaprayeshu abhadreshu nityam bhagavata sevaya bhagavate uttamasloke bhaktir bhavati naistaki tata rajastamo bhava kamalobhatayaschaye chetayetai ranaviddhim sitam sattve prasiddhati एवं प्रसन्नमनसो भगवद्भक्तियोगतः भगवत्तत्त्वविज्ञानं मुक्तसङ्गस्य जायते विद्यते हृदयग्रन्थिश्छिद्यन्ते सर्वसंशयाः क्षीयन्ते यस्य कर्माणि दृष्ट एवात्मनीश्वरे. To hear about Krishna from Vedic literature or to hear from him directly through the Bhagavad Gita is itself righteous activity, and for one who hears about Krishna, Lord Krishna, who is dwelling in everyone's heart, acts as a best wishing friend and purifies the devotee who constantly engages in hearing of him. Read. In this way.
In this way, a devotee naturally develops his dormant transcendental knowledge as he hears more about Krishna from the Bhagavatam and from the devotees. He becomes fixed in the devotional service of the Lord.
By development of devotional service, one becomes freed from the mode of passion and ignorance, and thus material lust and awares of diminished.
When these impurities are wiped away, the candidate remains steady in his position of pure goodness, becomes enlivened by devotional service, and understands the science of God perfectly.
Thus, Bhakti Yoga serves the heart not of material affection and enables one to come at once to the stage of asamsayam samagram, understanding of the supreme absolute truth, the personality of Godhead. Therefore, only by hearing from Krishna or from his devotees in Krishna consciousness can one understand the science of Krishna.
Okay, now we'll continue reading Bhagavatam. Text 31, Canto 3, Chapter 9. Tadatmani loke cha bhakti yukta samahitah drishtati mam tatam brahman mayi lokam tvam atmanah. Tada, thereafter, atmani, in yourself, loke, in the universe, cha, also, bhakti yukta, being situated in devotional service, samahita, being completely absorbed, drishtasi, you shall see, mam, may, tadam, spread throughout, brahman, O Brahma, mayi, in me, lokan, all the universe, tvam, you, atmanaha, the living entities. Translation, O Brahma, when you are observed in devotional service, in the course of your creative activities, you will see me in you, and throughout the universe, you will see that you yourself, the universe, and the living entities are all in me. Purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. It is cited herein by the Lord that during his daytime Brahma would see him as Lord Sri Krishna. He would appreciate how the Lord expanded himself into all the cows during his childhood at Vrindavana. He would know how Yashoda Mai saw all the universes and planetary systems within the mouth of Krishna during his playful childhood pastime. And he would also see that there are many millions of Brahmas during the appearance of Lord Krishna in Brahma's daytime. But all these manifestations of the Lord appearing everywhere in his eternal transcendental form cannot be understood by anyone but the pure devotees, who are always engaged in devotional service to the Lord and are fully absorbed in the Lord. The high qualifications of Brahma are also indicated herein.
यदा तु सर्वभूतेषु दुरुष्वाग्निम् इवास्थितं प्रातिचाक्षिता बाब्लोको धार्हि एव कश्मलम्.
Yada, when tu, but sarva, all bhuteshu, in the living entities, daharushu, in wood, agnim, fire, iva, like, sitam, situated, pratichakshita, you shall see, mam, may, lokaha, and the universe, jahyat, can give up, tarhi, then at once, eva, certainly, kashmalam, illusion.
Translation: You will see me in all living entities as well as all over the universe. Just as fire is situated in wood, only in that case of transcendental, only in that state of transcendental vision will you be able to be free from all kinds of illusion. Purport. Brahma prayed that he might not forget his eternal relationship with the Lord during the course of his material activities. In answer to that prayer, the Lord said that he should not think of existing without a relationship with his omnipotency. The example is given of the fire in wood. The fire kindled is wood is always the same. Although the wood may be of different types, similarly the body within the material creation may be specifically different according to a shaping quality. And the spirit souls within them are not different from one another. The quality of fire warmth is the same everywhere. And the spiritual spark of part and parcel of the Supreme Lord, of the Supreme Spirit, is the same in every living being. Thus, the potency of the Lord is disturbed all over, distributed all over his creation. This transcendental knowledge alone can save one from the contamination of material illusion. Since the Lord's potency is distributed everywhere, a pure soul or devotee of the Lord can see everything in relationship with the Lord, and therefore he has no affection for the outer coverings. The pure spiritual conception makes him immune to all contamination all contamination of material association. The pure devotee never forgets the touch of the Lord in all circumstances.
Text 33. Yada rahitam atmanam bhutendriya guna sayaihi swarupena mayopetam pashyan swarajam mrachati. Yada, when rahitam, freed from, atmanam, self, bhuta, material elements, indriya, material senses, guna asayai, under the influence of the material modes of nature, swarupena, in pure existence, maya, by me, upetam, approaching, pashyan, by seeing, swarajyam, spiritual kingdom, ruchati, enjoy. Translation: when you are free from the conception of gross and subtle bodies, and when your senses are free from all influence of the modes of material nature, you will realize your pure form in my association. At that time, you will be situated in pure consciousness. Purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. In the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, it is said that a person whose only desire is to render transcendental loving service to the Lord is a free person in any condition of material existence. That service attitude is the Swarupa, or real form of the living entity. Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in the Chaitanya Charitamrita also confirms this statement by declaring that the real spiritual form of the living entity is eternal servitorship to the Supreme Lord. The Mayavada school student shudders at the thought of service attitude in the living entity, but not knowing that in the transcendental world, the service of the Lord is based on transcendental love. Transcendental loving service is never to be compared to the forced service of the material world. In the material world, even if one is under the conception that he is no one servant, he is still the servant of his senses, under the dictation of the material modes. Factually, no one is master here in the material world, and therefore the servants of the senses have a very bad experience of servitude. They shudder at the thought of service because they have no knowledge of the transcendental position. In transcendental loving service, the servitor is as free as the Lord. The Lord is Swarat or fully independent, and the servant is also fully independent or Swarat in the spiritual atmosphere because there is no forced service. There, the transcendental loving service is due to spontaneous love. A reflected glimpse of such service is experienced in the service of the mother unto the son, the friend's service unto the friend, or the wife's service unto the husband. These reflections of service by friends, parents, or wives are not forced, but are due to only to love. The real service or service in Swarupa is present in the transcendental world, in association with the Lord. The very same service in transcendental love can be practiced in devotion here. This verse is also applicable to the Gnani school. The enlightened Gnani, when free from all material contaminations, namely the gross and subtle bodies, together with the senses of the material modes of nature, is placed in the Supreme and is thus liberated from material bondage. The Gnanis and the devotees are now actually in agreement up to the point of liberation from material contamination, but whereas the Gnanis remain pacified on the platform of simple understanding, the devotees develop further spiritual advancement in loving service. The devotees develop a spiritual individuality in their spontaneous service attitude, which is enhanced on and on up to the point of Madhurya Rasa or transcendental loving service reciprocated between the lover and the beloved.
Text 34. Nana karma vidane nina prajabhavi bahvi hi sishrikshataha natma vasidati asmimste Varshiyanmad anugraha.
Nana karma, varieties of service. Vitanena, by expansion of praja, population. Bahivi, innumerable. Sisrikshataha, desiring to increase. Na, never. Atma, self. Avasidati, will be bereaved. Asmin, in the matter. Te, of you. Varshiyan, always increasing. Mat, my. Anugraha, causeless mercy. Translation.
Since you have desired to increase the population innumerably and expand your varieties and service, you shall never be deprived in this matter, because my causeless mercy upon you will always increase for all the time. Purport. Purport by His Divine Grace, Sri Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. A pure devotee of the Lord, being cognizant of the facts of the particular time, object, and circumstances, always desires to expand the number of devotees of the Lord in various ways. Such expansions of transcendental service may appear to be material to the materialist, but factually they are expansions of the causeless mercy of the Lord towards the devotees. Plans for such activities may appear to be material activities, but they are different in potency, being engaged in the satisfaction of the transcendental senses of the Supreme.
Text 35, Canto 3, Chapter 9. Vrishimadhyam na badnati papiyam stvam rajogunaha yanmanomayi nirbaddham praja samsruchato pite. Rishim, unto the great sage, Adyam, the first of the kind, now never. Badnati, encroaches. Prapiyan Vishyas Tvam you Rajagunaha, the material mode of passion, yet because Manah mind, Mayi in me, Nirbaddham compacting, Prajaha progeny, Samsrajataha generating, Api in spite of, Te your. Translation: you are the original Rishi, and because your mind is always fixed on me, even though you will be engaged in generating various progeny, the vicious mode of passion will never encroach upon you. Purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. The same assurance is given to Brahma in the second canto, chapter 9, verse 36. Being so favored by the Lord, Brahma's schemes and plans are all infallible. If sometimes Brahma is seen to be bewildered, as in the 10th canto, he is bewildered by seeing the action of the internal potency. That is also for his further advancement in transcendental service. Arjuna is found to be similarly bewildered. All such bewilderment of the pure devotees of the Lord is especially meant for their further advancement in knowledge of the Lord.
ज्ञातोऽहं भवता त्वद्य दुर्विज्ञेयोऽपि देहिनां यन्मां त्वं मन्यसे युक्तं गुणात्मभिः.
Gnata known, aham myself, bhavata by you, too, but adya today, duh difficult, vigneha to be known, api in spite of, dehinam for the conditioned soul, yet because mam me, tvam you, manyase understand, ayuktam without being made of, bhuta material elements, indriya material senses, guna material modes, atmabihi and false ego like the conditioned soul.
You said mom. Translation. Although I am not easily knowable by the conditioned soul, you have known me today because that you know that my personality is not constituted of anything material, and specifically not of the 5 gross and 3 subtle elements. Purport. The knowledge of the Supreme Absolute Truth does not necessitate negation of the material manifestation, but understanding of spiritual existence as it is. To think that because material existence is released in forms, therefore spiritual existence must be formless and only a negative material conception of spirit. The real spiritual conception is that spiritual form is not material form. Brahma appreciated the eternal form of the Lord in that way. And the personality of Godhead approved of Brahma's spiritual conception. In Bhagavad Gita, the Lord condemned the material conception of Krishna's body, which arises because he is apparently present like a man. The Lord may appear in any of his many spiritual forms, but he is not material composed, nor has he any difference between body and self, and that is the way of conceiving the spiritual form of the Lord.
Text 37, Canto 3, Chapter 9. Tubhyam mad vichiksayam atma me darshido bahi nalina shalile moolam puskarasya vichinvataha. Tubhyam, unto you, mat, me, vichiksayam, and you are trying to know, atma, self, me, of myself, darshitaha, exhibited, abahihi, from within, nalena, through the system, shalile, in the water, moolam, root, pushkarasya, of the lotus, the primeval source, Vichinvata, contemplating. Translation: when you were contemplating whether there was a source to the stem of the lotus of your birth, and you have entered into that stem, you could not trace out anything, but at that time I manifested my form from within. Purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. When you were contemplating whether there was a source to the stem of the lotus feet of your birth, and you have even entered into that stem, you could not trace out anything, but at that time I manifested my form from within. Abhi, this is not a good habit. Abhi, you need to sit down like that. You're a young kid. Do not let this happen. Purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. The personality of Godhead can be experienced only by His causeless mercy, not by mental speculation or with the help of the material senses. Material senses cannot approach the transcendental understanding of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. He can be appreciated only by submissive devotion service when He reveals Himself before the devotee. Only by love of Godhead can one know God and not otherwise. The personality of Godhead cannot be seen with the material eyes, but He can be seen from within by spiritual eyes, opened by the ointment of love of God. As long as one's spiritual eyes are closed due to the dirty covering of matter, one cannot see the Lord. But when the dirt is removed by the process of devotional service, one can see the Lord without a doubt. Brahma's personal endeavor to see the root of the lotus pipe failed, but when the Lord was satisfied by his penance and devotion, He revealed Himself from within with no external endeavor.
Yachaka Tangamatstotram Matkatabhyo Dagyan Kitam Yadvata Pasite Nishta Saeshamad Anugraha. Yet that which Chakarta performed Anga O Brahma, Mat Stotram, prayers for me, Matkada, words regarding my activities, Abhyudaya, Ankitam, enumerating my transcendental glories, yet or that, Va either, Tapasi in penance, Te your Nishta, faith, Sah that, Esha, all these, Mat my, Anugraha, causeless mercy. Translation. Don't put on the ground. O Brahma, the prayers that you have chanted, praising the glories of multitude activities, the penances you have undertaken to understand me, and your firm faith in me, all these are to be considered my causeless mercy. Purport. When a living entity desires to serve the Lord in transcendental loving service, the Lord helps the devotee in so many ways as the Chaitya Guru, or the spiritual master within. And thus the devotee can perform many wonderful activities beyond material estimation. By the mercy of the Lord, even a layman can compose prayers of the highest spiritual perfection. Such spiritual perfection is not limited by material qualifications, but is developed by dint of one's sincere endeavor to render transcendental service. Voluntary endeavor is the only qualifications for spiritual perfection. Many material acquisitions of wealth or education are not considered.
Text 39, Canto 3, Chapter 9. प्रीतोऽहम् अस्तु भद्रं ते लोकानां विजयेच्छया यदस्तौषि गुणमयं निर्गुणं मानु वर्णयान्. Pritah, pleased, aham, myself, astu, let it be so. Bhadram, all benediction, te unto you. Lokanam, of the planets, Vijaya, for glorification. Ichaya, by your desire, yet, that which. Astausihi, you prayed for. Gunamayam, describing all transcendental qualities. Nirgunam, although I am free from all material qualities. Ma, me. Anuvarnayam, nicely describing. Translation: I am very much pleased by your description of me in terms of my transcendental qualities, which appear mundane to the mundaners. I grant you all benedictions in your desire to glorify all the planets by your activities. Purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. A pure devotee of the Lord, like Brahma, and those in his line of disciplic succession, always desire that the Lord be known all over the universe by each and every one of the living entities. That desire of the devotee is always blessed by the Lord. The impersonalist sometimes prays for the mercy of the personality of Godhead Narayana as an embodiment of material goodness. But such prayers do not satisfy the Lord, because He is not thereby glorified in terms of His actual transcendental qualities. The pure devotees of the Lord are always most dear to Him, although He is always kind and merciful to all living entities. Here the word Gunamayam is significant because it indicates the Lord's possessing the transcendental qualities.
Ya eta etena puma tri puma tri. It's different than the Sanskrit. It's different from the Sanskrit.
You read another.
Ya etena pumanityam stutva sto trena mam bhajet tasyashu sampasideyam sarva kama vareshvara.
Yeah, anyone who etena, by this, puman, human being, nityam, regularly, stutva, praying, stotrina, by the verses, maham, may, bhajet, may worship, tasya, his, asu, very soon, samprasideyam, I shall fulfill, sarva, all, kama, desires, vara ishvara, the Lord of all benediction.
Translation: Any human being who prays like Brahma and who thus worships me shall very soon be blessed with the fulfillment of all his desires, for I am the Lord of all benediction. Purport by Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. The prayers offered by Brahma cannot be chanted by anyone else who desires to fulfill his own sense gratification. Such prayers can be selected only by a person who wants to satisfy the Lord in his service. The transcendental Lord certainly The Lord certainly fulfills all desires in regard to transcendental loving service, but He cannot fulfill the whims of non-devotees, even when such casual devotees offer Him the best of prayers.
Text 41. Purtina tapasa yagnair danair yoga samadhinam Radham nishresham pumsam matpriti statva vinmatam. Purtena, by traditional good work, tapasa, by penances, yagnahi, by sacrifices, danahi, by charities, yoga, by mysticism, samadhinam, by trance, radham, success, nishresham, ultimately beneficial, pumsam, of the human being, mat, of me, Preeti, satisfaction, Tattvavid, expert, transcendentalist. Matam, opinion. Translation: it is the opinion of expert transcendentalists that the ultimate goal of performing all traditional good works, penances, sacrifices, charities, mystic activities, trances, etc., is to invoke my satisfaction. Purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. There are many traditionally pious activities in human society, such as altruism, philanthropy, nationalism, internationalism, charity, sacrifice, penance, and even meditation in trance. And all of them can be fully beneficial only when they lead to the satisfaction of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. The perfection of any activity, social, political, religious, or philanthropic, is to satisfy the Supreme Lord. This secret of success is known to the devotee of the Lord, as exemplified by Arjuna on the battlefield of Kurukshetra. As a good non-violent man, Arjuna did not want to fight with his kinsmen, but when he understood that Krishna wanted the fight and had arranged it at Kurukshetra, he gave up his own satisfaction and fought for the satisfaction of the Lord. That is the right decision for all intelligent men. One's only concern should be to satisfy the Lord by one's activities. If the Lord is satisfied by an action, whatever it may be, then it is successful. Otherwise, it is simply a waste of time. That is the standard of all sacrifice, penance, austerity, mystic trance, and other good and pious work.
Ahamat Atmatmanam Data. Wait. Aham Natrat.
No. Amatmatmanam data.
Aham Atmam Atmanam Data. Preshtaha Sanpreshayasham api ato mairatim kuryad dehadiriyat krite priyaha.
Aham, I am Atma, the super soul, Atmanam, of all other souls, Data, director, Presta, the dearest, San, being, Preyasam, of all dear things, Api, certainly, Atah, therefore, Mayi, unto me, Radim, attachment, Kuryat, one should do, Dehadi, the body and mind, Yet Krute, on whose account, Priya, very dear.
Translation. I am the super soul of every inner soul. I am the supreme director in the dearest. People are wrongly attached to the gross and subtle bodies, and they should be attached to me only. Purport. The Supreme Personality of the Supreme Lord, the Personality of Godhead, is the dearest in both the conditioned and liberated states. When a person does not know that the Lord is the only dearmost object, then he is in the conditioned state of life. And when one knows perfectly well that the Lord is the only dearmost object, he is considered to be liberated. There are degrees of knowing one's relationship with the Lord. Depending on the degree of realization as to why the Supreme Lord is the dearmost object for every living being. The real reason is clearly stated in Bhagavad Gita 5.15.7. Mamevamsho jiva loke jiva bhukta sanatana. The living entities are eternally parts and parcels of the Supreme Lord. The living entity is called Atma. The Supreme Lord is called the Paramatma. Paramatma. The living entity is called Brahman. In the Lord is called Parabrahman, or the Parameshwara. Ishvara Paramakrishna. The conditioned souls who do not know, who do not have self-realization, accept the material body as the dearmost. The idea of the dearmost is then spread all over the body, both concentrated and extended.
The attachment.
The attachment for one's own body is, and its extensions like children and relatives is actually developed on the basis of the real living entity. As soon as the real living entity is out of the body, even the body of the most dear son is no longer attractive. Therefore, this living spark or eternal part of the Supreme is the real basis of affection, and not the body, because the living entities are also parts of the whole living entity. That supreme living entity is the factual basis of affection for all. One who has forgotten the basic principle of his love for everyone has only flickering love because he is in Maya. The more one is affected by the principle of Maya, the more he is detached from the basic principle of love. One can factually love anything. One cannot love anything. One cannot factually love anything unless he is fully developed in the loving service of the Lord. In the present verse, stress is given to focusing love upon the Supreme Personality of Godhead. The word Guryat is significant here. This means one must have it. It is just to stress that we must have more and more attachment to the principle of love. The influence of Maya is experienced by the part and parcel spiritual entity, but it cannot influence the supersoul, the Paramatma. The Mayavadi philosophers, accepting the influence of Maya on the material and on the living entity, want to become one with the Paramatma, but because they have no actual love for Paramatma, they remain ever entrapped by the influence of Maya and are unable to approach the vicinity of Paramatma. This inability is due to their lack of affection for the Paramatma. A rich miser does not know how to utilize his wealth, and therefore, in spite of his being very rich, his misery behavior keeps him everlastingly a poor man. On the other hand, a person who knows how to utilize wealth can quickly become a rich man, even with a small credit balance. The eyes and the sun are very intimately related because without sunlight, the eyes are unable to see. But the other parts of the body, being attached to the sun as a source of warmth, take more advantage of the sun than do the eyes. Without possessing affection for the sun, the eyes cannot bear the rays of the sun, or in other words, such eyes have no capacity to understand the utility of the sun's rays. Similarly, the empiric philosophers, despite their The theoretical knowledge of Brahman cannot utilize the mercy of the Supreme Brahman because they lack affection. So many impersonal philosophers remain everlastingly under the influence of Maya because although they indulge in theoretical knowledge of Brahman, they do not develop affection for Brahman, nor do they have any scope for development of affection because of their defective method. A devotee of the sun god, even though devoid of eyesight, can see the sun god as he is even from this planet, whereas one who is not a devotee of the sun cannot even bear the glare of sunlight. Similarly, by devotional service, even though one is not on the level of jnani, one can see the personality of God within himself due to his development of pure love. In all circumstances, one should try to develop love of Godhead, and that will solve all contending problems.
Text 43. Sarvami Veda Mayinidam Atmanatma Yonina Prajasrajayata Purvam Yascha Mai Anu Sherate. Sarva all Veda Madhina Mayina under complete Vedic wisdom. Idam this. Atmana by the body. Atma you. Atma Yonina directly born of the Lord. Praja living entities. Raja generate. Yada Purvam, as it was hereinbefore, Yah which cha also Mayi in me, Anusherate lie. Translation. By following my instruction, you can now generate the living entities as before, by dint of your complete Vedic wisdom and the body you have directly received from me, the supreme cause of everything. Text 44. Maitreya Uvacha Tasmai evam jagatshastre.
Maitreya uvacha tashma evam jagatshastre shastre pradana purusheshvara vyajyedam svena rupena kanjanabhas tirodade
Maitreya Uvacha, that says Maitreya said, Tasmai unto him, evam thus, Jagats Shrastre, unto the creator of the universe, Pradhana Purusha Ishvara, the primeval Lord, the personality of Godhead, Vyajya idam, after instructing this, Svena in his person, Rupena by the form, Kanjanabha, the personality of Godhead Narayana, Thirodade, disappeared.
Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, Yosi Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. The sage Maitreya said, after instructing Brahma, the creator of the universe, to expand the primary Lord, the personality of Godhead and his personal form as Narayana disappeared.
Disappeared. What does this mean?
No, Narayana disappeared.
People who are listening, what do they think? Appeared, disappeared? Purport. Go slow, that's why. Do not create new words. Go.
Purport. Before his activity in creating the universe, Brahma saw the Lord. That is
the explanation of the Chatusloki Bhagavatam.
I was saying that and I didn't even say that yet.
Going too fast and creating words which will make the meaning wrong.
And I didn't yet.
Go. before his activity.
Before his activity in creating the universe, Brahma said the Lord. That is the explanation.
Go ahead.
That is the explanation of the Chaturshloki Bhagavatam. When the creation awaited Brahma's activity, Brahma saw the Lord, and therefore the Lord existed in his personal form before the creation. For his eternal form is not created by the personal form before the creation. His eternal form is not created by the attempt of Brahma, as imagined by less intelligent men. The personality of Godhead appeared as he is before Brahma, but he disappeared from him in the same form, which is not materially tinged. Thus in the Bhagavad Gita, Thus in the Bhakti-vedanta purports of the third canto, 9th chapter of the Srimad Bhagavatam entitled Brahma's Prayers for Creative Energy. If you don't want me to read, fine.
Hare Krishna. So today we completed Canto 3, Chapter 9. We'll continue reading tomorrow from Chapter 10. Kandaraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki Jai. Now we'll continue to Guru Puja. Hare Krishna. If somebody is listening to what you're reading, no, it's going to be this. Abhi, come here, come back here.
Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada. Shri Guru Charana Padma Kevala Bhakati Sadma Rucharana Padma Kevala Bhakati Sadma Bandho Mohi Savadhana Mate Bandho mohi savadhana mate Mate Jahara Prasade Vai Ye Bhava Toriya Jai Ye Bhava Toriya Jai कृष्ण प्राप्ति होय जहा होय ते कृष्ण प्राप्ति होय जहा होय ते होय ते गुरुमुख पद्मा वाक्या चितते कोरिया क्या चितते कोरिया क्या आरना कोरी हो माने आशा श्री गुरु चराने रति ऐसे उत्तम गति ऐसे उत्तम गति ये प्रसादे पूरे सर्व आशा ये प्रसादे पूरे सर्व आशा आशा चक्षुदान दिलो जय जन्मे जन्मे प्रभु शेष चक्षुदान दिलो जय जन्मे जन्मे प्रभु शेष दिव्य ज्ञान हृदय प्रकाशितो प्रेम भक्ति जहाँ होते अविद्या विनाश जाते प्रेम भक्ति जहाँ होते अविद्या विनाश जाते वेदे गाय जहर चरितो ओ वेदे गाय जहर चरितो श्री गुरु करुणा सिंधु आधम जनार बंधु श्री गुरु करुणा सिंधु आधम जनार बंधु लोकनाथ लोकेर जीवाना आहा प्रभु कोरो दया देहो मोरे पादचाया आहा प्रभु कोरो दया देहो मोरे पादचाया आहा प्रभु कोरो दया देहो मोरे पादचाया देहो मोरे पादचाया ए बेजाज कुशुक त्रिभुवाना श्रीला प्रभुपाद पतित पवाना जय प्रभुपादा जय प्रभुपादा जय प्रभुपादा जय प्रभुपादा जय जय प्रभुपाद 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 जय जय प्रभुपाद जय 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 गुरुदेव 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 जय जय गुरुदेव जय गुरुदेव जय जय गुरुदेव नमः ॐ विष्णुपदाय कृष्णप्रस्थाय भूतले श्रीमति भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिन् इति नामिने कृष्णप्रस्थाय भूतले श्रीमति भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिन् इति नामिने नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्देशतारिणे शून्यवादी पाश्चात्देशतारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद चैतन्य नित्यानंद हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा हरे राम 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 हरे हरे नित्य गौर हरि बोल हरि बोल हरि बोल नित्य गौर हरि बोल नित्य गौर हरि बोल हरि बोल हरि बोल नित्य गौर हरि बोल
spiritual master by which rendering pure devotional service. I bow down to his lotus feet. My only wish is to have my consciousness purified by the words emanating from his lotus mouth. Attachment to his lotus feet is perfection that fulfills all desires. He opens my darkened eyes and fills my heart with transcendental knowledge. He is my Lord, birth after birth. From him, ecstatic prema emanates. By him, ignorance is destroyed. The Vedic scriptures sing of his character. Our spiritual master is the ocean of mercy, the friend of the poor, the Lord and master of the devotees. O Master, be merciful unto us. Give us the shade of your lotus feet. Your fame is spread all over the three worlds. We take the shelter of your lotus feet. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.